I was still an intern at the time. I was supposed to be in call for 30 hours that day. I did not sleep the night before at all. During morning rounds, I told the team how I didn't have any sleep the night before. So we finished our rounds. My co-intern, who I'm going to call her AC for the purpose of this video, came to me. She took my pager and told me to go and sleep for 2 hours. I was actually a bit surprised. I told her, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes, she will take care of everything." So I gave her a quick sign out and went to the resident lounge and literally passed out for 2 hours. You will not be surprised if I tell you that AC won the Best Resident Award every single year. The team spirit she was carrying was unsurpassable. She was hardworking, team player, efficient, and very smart. She was literally the ideal resident you love to have. So please be like AC. Now let me tell you about JG. I'm gonna call this resident JG. I was a third-year resident. JG was an intern at the time. He was the below average intern, especially in terms of medical knowledge, but you could see that he was aware of that and was trying hard to get better. During my night float rotation that year, I would see him coming at 3 a.m. to be ready to round with his attending physician at 9 a.m. I was like, oh, this poor guy barely gets any sleep. And over the year, I could see that hard working was paying off. He was consistently improving. The faculty, of course, was pleased with his progression. And as a faculty, we love to see our residents improving day by day. So please be a hard-working resident and keep working on your deficiencies like JG. On the contrary, let me tell you about CM. She was a very smart intern. I was a third-year resident at the time as well. But everyone in her batch hates working with her. Guess why? She was very lazy. She would call in sick very often, and of course, the next thing they would call in one of her co-residents to come and cover for her. She was slow, sluggish, nothing gets done. She was not showing any signs of improvement. I finished my residency and I don't really know what happened to her afterward. Being smart is the least thing we care about when it comes to evaluation. What do I do with a smart but lazy intern? Knowledge can be easily acquired, but getting rid of laziness is much harder. So please don't be like CM. Let me tell you about KP. He was a resident I worked with as an attending physician. What's interesting about him was his sense of humor and his excellent relationship with the hospital staff wherever we go. His excellent relationship with everyone, especially nurses, made the team job much easier. Of course, I gave him an excellent evaluation, so please be like KP. Be friendly and kind with everyone. Another resident I worked with as an attending physician was, I'm gonna call him SM. He was my team's senior resident, and I could have not asked for a better senior resident. He was really in charge. He made sure his team was running smoothly, tasks getting done, always backing his interns, running to emergencies when called overhead, even if it was not one of our patients. He loved doing procedures. He was always a step ahead, never looks for excuses when making any mistakes or if any task was not done. He would just apologize and take care of it right away. So please be like SM. In contrast, let me tell you about FT. He was the senior resident you do not want to work with. One day at the beginning of our rounds, I asked him about any potential discharges. He replied that he doesn't know yet. He was off the day before. You can tell he was not ready. He was literally the opposite of what we described in the previous example. He was acting as if he's still an intern, not taking the team responsibilities. He was not in charge. He was lazy and always looking for excuses. So please don't be like him. This reminds me of another incident a year ago. I was walking by and I could hear one of the interns trying to give his attending physician an excuse. Why didn't he prepare to talk about a specific topic? I could see how bad this was. The attending physician was not happy with that. Apologizing for not doing the task is far better and easier than giving an excuse for not doing it. If you do a mistake or fail to get a task done, just apologize and go take care of the issue right away. Now, let me tell you about DF. She was my intern. During rounds, she's always carrying her laptop and always typing as long as she was not presenting her patient or answering a question. Apparently, she was typing her progress notes during the rounds. So please, from an attending physician perspective, do not do that. Don't be like DF. Finish your rounds, get your tasks done, then finish your notes after that. Another story I will never forget is about an intern that had an altercation with another intern. Apparently, he was talking to her over the phone. It seems she was upset and she hung the phone on him. He got very mad, of course, went to her and was yelling at her in front of the hospital staff. The floor staff called security and it was dealt with as a possible harassment event, which is pretty serious. Luckily, the program director was able to intervene and solve the problem without top administration involvement, as she understood the cultural background of that intern. Luckily, it ended up with anger management classes instead of being fired. So it's very important to be mindful of other people's space and freedom. Please read the harassment policy carefully and be aware of all forms of harassment so you can avoid them. Let me tell you now about MM. A few months into residency, he started to look tired, bored, and kind of careless, especially in clinic time. Clinic staff reported that to his program director. He was interviewed by the chief resident. So what was that? What was going on? He was simply showing signs of burnout. They gave him few instructions how to organize his time, and things got better after that. So be aware of burnout signs. Organize your time well, try to break your routine frequently, spend quality time with family, play sports, get together with your friends. Remember, residency is part of your life, not your whole life. I cannot finish this video without telling you about MT. MT was in the same batch I was in. He was amazingly professional, but what he was exceptional at is hiding his frustration. He always looks happy, always smiling. He would only show his frustration when he's alone or with his close friends. The staff and patients equally loved him. Some of his clinic patients even bought him some expensive gifts. That's how good he was with them. So a lot of you know how sometimes boring and frustrating clinic time can be. So please be like MT. Never vent your frustration in front of your colleagues, your patients, or hospital staff. Always keep your smile and happy face as much as you can. If you cannot take it anymore, just go to the closest bathroom and vent everything there. So why I'm telling you all these stories? Around this time each year, hundreds of residents start their residency journey in the USA. I want these stories to serve as general advice on how to excel in residency, how to be the residents everybody, attending physician, residents, or hospital staff wants to work with and have in their team. Being a team player, hardworking, getting things done, aware of your deficiency, progressively improving, professional, apologetic, humble, kind, gentle, mindful of other people's space and freedom are all traits we love to see in all our residents. You may wonder, where is being smart from all of that? By smart, I mean here the level of medical knowledge and the ability to apply it in practice. So what do you think as an attending physician I would prefer to have? A smart but lazy intern or residents, or a hardworking resident but with a below average medical knowledge or ability to use it in practice? So which is easier? To help a hardworking resident to become smart, or to help a lazy resident to become hardworking? I can easily help someone to build his knowledge and analytical power, but it's much harder to change someone's nature of being lazy. Finally, please try to turn your residency into a time you enjoy, not a time you struggle with. Remember, years go by very quickly and soon you will become an attending physician. So good luck to all of you. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with your colleagues. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to our channel yet. I'll see you next video.